Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 6 Episode 13 Recap. Bad weather stirred up a storm in Greece. Welcome to the recap for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 6, Episode 13. Last week, Bronwyn celebrated her U.S. citizenship by throwing a Spill the Boston Tea party. And the tea was piping hot when Whitney accused Meredith of substance abuse issues. Meredith then handed out drug tests to the group. Noticeably, no one took one, and the war continued on. Here's exactly what went down in Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 6, Episode 13. Greek for the week. What happened in Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 6, Episode 13. It only took 3 seasons, but Angie finally got her trip to Greece. And thankfully, there was no big throwdown during the flight over. However, the group got heated when Lisa was late for shopping due to getting glam. Things were also tense between Meredith and Heather over the Brittany plane debacle. And when Heather confronted Meredith in front of the group, she did not get the response she was hoping for. Opa. Angie took the ladies to Greece. The day had finally arrived for Angie to bring the group to her motherland. However, it's always good to know the local lingo before you go, so Angie had Heather and Mary over to learn some Greek words. Angie's dad and Anne got quizzed on how to say, "Shut up, piss off, and you have no manners." But when asked how to say snooze fest, they chuckled. Greeks aren't boring. Angie's aunt wondered, are you going over there to be nice and meet people, or are you going over there to be mad? Heather smiled and said, a little of both, hopefully. Meanwhile, we got our Tautism of the week as Bronwyn discussed the trip with him. She predicted that if anything went down on this flight, the Greek police would have them zip-tied. And if any trouble happened, Angie could get them out of it because she spoke Greek. Todd warned no one would know what Angie was saying. He quipped, she might say, yeah, lock the B asterisk TCH up. No zip ties were needed, though, as they landed in Santorini in good spirits and drama-free. They also had the most peaceful sprinter van ride in the history of the show, with only Whitney still stewing from Bronwyn's betrayal. Whitney said in her confessional, even though it's frustrating that Bronwyn betrayed my trust, I think the key to moving forward in friendship is not going backwards. But I've also learned that her ability to keep secrets not very high. And only on RHOSLC would they go straight from the airport to the restaurant after 2 days of traveling. No picking rooms or glam for them. Angie cheered to their arrival, and all was well until she asked Heather, what time is it B asterisk TCH? Cartier copycats. It was time for Heather and Whitney to bust out their spite watches. Now this is the petty drama we need. Apparently the smooth flight over got a bit bumpy when Lisa accused Angie of copying her. Lisa had a Cartier watch, and Angie had one too. Angie was shook. She'd had hers since before Electra was born. So, bad weather tried to stir up a storm. Heather bought her and Whitney Cartier watches when they landed to get under Lisa's skin. Mary noted the joke was on them. Who fought over old lady watches? Mary said in her confessional, I would never argue about Cartier watches? That's a grandma watch. Angie claimed she wasn't copying Lisa, ahem, Arby's, and they could all enjoy having nice things together. Then the two had a Porsche off, with Angie winning 5-4. Lisa said in her confessional, Angie is such a jealous, competitive person. It's unhealthy, like, she's going to take years off her life if she keeps this going. First it's with watches and cars. And I don't even know what you drove, but you know what I was driving when you were watching me on TV. We jumped to the next morning with everyone waking up in their rooms, and Brittany surrounded by 800 stuffed animals. I wonder if they all had messages from Jared? Shudder. The copycatting then went from campy to creepy as Heather brought it up again. As soon as they sat down, she stared at Lisa's feet and said she wanted to buy her Prada slides. Meredith tried to make a joke about it, but Heather gave her the cold shoulder. Mary thinks square-faced people are dingbats. We then got some classic Mary observations along the lines of she don't even know she looks inbred. While at the beach, Mary decided to observe everyone's face shape. She told Bronwyn and Heather they had bucket face. Then there was the dreaded square face. Mary said, those are dingbats. The editors cut to Brittany. Lisa got a quick reprieve when the group decided to set their sights on Bronwyn instead. As they sat down for lunch, they discussed all the good-looking men that were around. Angie asked Bronwyn, "Are you going to get a number 2 while you're here?" Bronwyn gritted her teeth and shared she and Todd were incredibly happy and monogamous. Case closed. Bronwyn said, "Todd and I are not in an open marriage and he's happy and it's fine." All she needed was Muzzy's shirt that read, "It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine." Mary told Bronwyn that she can't tell them things that make it sound like there's trouble, and when it comes back up, pretend like it's not true. Then Meredith jumped in and advised Bronwyn they were not going to let the mouse go. Meredith said, "From my past experience, this is probably not the end of it with this group." Afterwards, they had 1 hour to get ready before going shopping. Lisa had everyone miffed by taking 3 hours for her glam. Hey, every Real Housewives has to have at least one Real Housewives of Miami Lisa Hochstein character. They left Lisa behind, but still talked about her. Heather went off on a tangent about Lisa being insecure about her looks, which was surprising, as Heather talked about how much she loved filler earlier in the day. Eventually, Baby Gorgeous arrived, and her mere presence riled them all up again. Lisa felt Heather was the Judge Judy of the group on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Everyone marveled at the nighttime view of Greece as they sat down for dinner. With the good vibes vibing, Meredith surprised Heather with a necklace. While Heather took the gift, she rejected the sentiment. In her confessional, she said, "I feel like she's treating me like the woman who's been cheated on. Just give me a few gifts without being specific about what it's about, and we're going to go back to normal." Meredith told Heather she's been trying to talk to her all day and wanted to do it privately. Heather ignored her request and came in guns blazing. She said, "You assassinated my character and ejected our history and our friendship." Lisa chimed in that Heather needed to hold herself to the same standard she was holding everyone else. Lisa said in her confessional, "It's a little ridiculous that Heather plays Judge Judy in every situation. It's like, why the F***CK are you judging her so harshly?" Heather said Meredith chose to annihilate their friendship over the TikTok video Brittany brought up about Seth allegedly having a mistress. She said, "You are selective about what you have outrage for." Whitney noted that everyone was fighting because of Meredith's actions towards Brittany on the plane. Meredith was over it. She and Brittany had made up, and she felt this matter was closed. As Whitney called Meredith the Ives of Salt Lake City Season 6, Episode 13. Should Meredith apologize to Heather and Whitney?